Good evening and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host for this live podcast from Southern California. We are here and you found me of how to fight CPS and stop taking our children. A lot of you are involved with CPS. I've been involved with CPS. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to listen your concerns, to offer advice. I have 4 rules. I have several topics that we could talk about. And so this is an interactive podcast. Many of you come on to listen. Some of you call in. Some of you text in. Some of you are my guests. So I'm open to everybody. I want to give a warm welcome to all of you out there. And no fret, we will get to the bottom of your problem with the CPS system, the child protection system. As you may be aware, it's very corrupt. Now, I'd like to go over a couple things to interact with this podcast. One way is that you can text messages. You can text your comments. I am broadcast on YouTube. You found me on Facebook. I'm using the StreamYard application. And you can text a CPS question about your case or somebody else, or how CPS works in your state or how it works in your country. Yes, I do have people from around the world that have called, that have text comments in. Please show your name, your city, your state, or country, and be complete with your CPS case so I don't have to play ping pong ball. What I mean by that is if you have 4 children and 4 separate fathers, 2 were marriages, 2 were just boyfriends, I guess, whatever it is, you want to start at the beginning. If you're a grandparent, identify yourself as a grandparent. If you're a mother of children, identify. So I know and start from the very beginning, when the allegations first came, how they took your children, how they approached you, what were the allegations, and where's your case now? So, text, and you keep texting, and I will try to answer as best I can. So I'd love to hear from you all. Now, another way to interact with this podcast is to call in. You can call my numbers. My office number is 626-698-0990. And my phone will ring. I'm going to double check to make sure that it's working and it's all hooked up to go. Okay, so we got good sound. And we're signed into the right internet for the connection. And I'm going to text a message to a couple of my regular people. Sometimes the notifications work, sometimes they don't. So I do have a co-host, but she's had a lot of computer issues. So I'm very sad to say, that, okay. Okay. So the phone is working. And you can call in at 626-698-0990. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. There was 2 people that call me when I'm not around, so Okay, so I think I got everybody. Okay. Good evening. Who is this that's calling in?
Good evening, Mr. Bob. I'm watching your live in
Right.
YouTube, and I have a question because I have opened a CPS case. They removed my children from home, and it was because accidentally I was. Hello.
Yeah, I'm still here. There may be notification sounds, but I'm right here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Bob. It's because my English is not really good, but I'm gonna try to explain you. It was my birthday, and I was
Well,
involved
happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday. What city and state or country are you calling from?
I'm calling from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, welcome
Clark
Las Vegas,
County.
Nevada. Right. I want to welcome you as well as other people that have come into the room. Tori Johnson. I don't know what state or country she's from. Faye is from Richmond, Kentucky. She's called in. And Diane Guzman. Hello.
Yes.
That is
Yes,
you.
I'm still here.
Yeah. And Diane. So I just wanted to refresh and make sure everybody got a warm welcome. So you have a case. Can you start from the beginning and explain your case from day one? Are you the parent of the children?
Yes, I am the mother, and
Okay.
I have my baby custody until the accident happened. And I was in my birthday, and my baby took amphetamine from the floor. It wasn't mine because they do a drug test to me, and I was clean. But his dad was dirty, and when I found that my baby was crying, I didn't know what happened, and I just called the ambulance. They came, and I went with my baby to the hospital. Then we've been there for 4 days. And after he was discharged from the hospital, they took my son for foster home. And right now I'm doing my
Right. Can we stop right now for one moment? Stop
sponsoring.
right there. If can we stop right there, Diane Guzman? You said they took your child when he got released 4 days later. Why did they? What allegation were they accusing that you did?
Because I was involved in domestic violence, and they wonder why I call my baby daddy to come into my house if I know that he was doing, drugs, that he's a drug addict person, and then my son can be endangered with him.
Okay, stop right there. So I'm trying to understand. Step one here is that there were drugs at the birthday party, and your child ingested the drugs. Correct?
Yes,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes,
See where the problem is, and the problem is you got two problems. One, your negligence on allowing the child to get the drugs. It's your responsibility as a parent not to have drugs present. If you have people there, it makes it really much harder. And also, parties are not really good for young babies. They really should be with a babysitter or a next of kin. But anyway, your child did it. Luckily, your child was okay in 4 days. Meanwhile, you had domestic violence with was that your husband of the child or just the father of the child?
No, he never married me. He was just the father of my son.
Okay. And are we talking about one child or other children?
No, just one baby. He's
Okay.
18 months old.
All right. Well, here's the thing: again, you're in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, the CPS case in Las Vegas, Nevada, has charged you with negligence because you allowed your child to ingest drugs that were at the party. They got you there negligence because you allowed your young 18-month-old child to go to a party that's really for adults. And so that's why they took your kids. Now, you should have asked for your kids to be in the next of kin, like with family members. Were you allowed to do that?
I know, but the thing is that I don't have any family in Las Vegas, Nevada, and my social worker told me my process can be faster if I do everything like I have to.
They're trying to trick you. They're using treachery. What they are, they're deceiving you. If your family members are in the next state, let's say California or Arizona or Utah, you can have your kids sent to those states. Do you have any family members in the United States?
I do, and my family wants to be close to my son in this case.
Right. So what you should have done is you request in the safety plan that you want your child placed with a family member. And don't let them tell you that they can't afford it. They can afford it because that CPS outfit makes $80 billion a year. $80 billion. I don't know if you know what a billion is, but it's a lot more than a million. And I'm trying to tell you is that the reason why they take your child and they jumped on this one because you had neglect that they could charge you with is so that they get money every month from the state of Nevada that's from the federal government. And I'm talking as much as $20,000 per child per month. They get that amount of money. They pay their social workers bonuses so they can buy their Goosey purses, their eyelashes, their makeup, their accessories, their BMW. My social worker used to tell all the things she could buy with the bonuses. So you are really up a creek without a paddle. Also, it sounds like you don't have an attorney. Is that the case?
I don't have an attorney.
Yeah.
They assigned me one, but this attorney, he don't pay attention to me.
Well, no. Those attorneys, you got what's called a court-appointed attorney. In the United States, your constitutional right is to always be represented in court. If you can't afford an attorney, one is placing you. The only problem is you're in dependency court. It's a very corrupt court. It's a very corrupt agency. And those court-appointed attorneys have a caseload of 30 or more clients. They don't have time to talk to you. They don't have time to fight your case. They're going to get the easy way out. You need to get yourself a professional dependency family attorney, a family dependency attorney, because you're in dependency court.
I went with an attorney, and that girl, she told me those attorneys the court assigned because it's not a criminal case, it's a family case. They don't have a lot of cases, and they can help me as well in a private one because I went with the money to get one private, and that's what she told me. I was so much, curious because if I can save the money, that's fine. But it's more important have somebody that can help me and defend me.
You need somebody, right? You need somebody who can navigate and knows the CPS. I tell people CPS is just like open heart surgery. You need a professional doctor to do open heart surgery on your body. You yourself cannot cut open your heart and work on it. Your neighbor can't. Your husband can't. Your friends can't. Even a plumber can't, or an auto mechanic can't. You need to get a professional doctor, one that's been to medical school, that's did an internship, that mentor with another doctor before he did surgery. Well, that goes for CPS. You're an agency that is not only bad, it's corrupt. There's nobody watching them. They're not accountable. They use deceptions. They tell you lies, and all they want to do is alienate your children and have your children brought into foster care. And I know that's a rude awakening, and I'm sorry for you because that's wrong. And a lot of people don't have the money to get a professional attorney. I didn't. I had to sell my home to get my attorney. And so I'm telling you is that sometimes you have to do what you have to do to take care of your family. But if you continue and don't tell them that the court appointed attorneys don't have a big caseload. My caseload, my attorney, I had to fire that attorney. And on top of that, a lot of people do because they do, and they don't talk to you out of court. If they say they can't meet with you, that means their caseload's too big. And also, they're not going to be a fighter. They're not going to fight to get your kids. They want to keep you as long in the system to break you and hopefully adopt your child with the foster care in the foster care system. The foster care system is corrupt. They'll molest your child. They'll hurt your child. There's no protection of neglect or abuse in their hands. The child protection system is corrupt.
I don't have lifetimes this happening to me because I'm a good mother and all I do is take care of my son.
I know you're a good mother. I can tell that. I can tell that, Diane. And Faye said some things. She can have her relative come to Las Vegas and file a petition in the court for power of attorney and guardianship her child by the way of ICPC. ICPC is an interstate organization that helps transfer children from state to state. So if you have a relative, they can come and file a petition for power of attorney and guardianship your child, and then they can take care of your child until you're done with the CPS in Las Vegas. Faye also.
Oh, thank you so much for
yeah, no,
the
I'm trying to tell you.
information.
I got lots of information. I got people in my room that are listening. Now, Faye also said lies and court appointing will cost you your kids. So if you continue to use the court appointed attorney and are convinced that they're the best, you're going to lose your kids. And I did. I lost my daughter. I got my two sons back, but I lost my daughter.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, it's sad because how they work. Picture this, and everybody can listen because this I tell on every show. Picture 8 social workers in pink t-shirts, and this is Prescott, Arizona in 2022. They thought it'd be really cute if they make pink t-shirts and stencil on the front, professional kidnappers. Professional kidnappers. And on the back, they put, do you know where your children are? That's what they're doing. They parade around in Walmart and other department stores. They were caught and they were fired. All 8 of them were fired. That's a total of 25 years of experience went out the window. And it left Prescott Social Services with 1 worker. The director was also fired. So I'm telling you, they are corrupt. I mean, just the other day, a social worker in Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, on her Facebook page, posted an ad. I think it was funny. And the ad was from 1848 during the Civil War. And it said, black children for sale. Black children for sale. So that's the mentality of the people you're dealing with. They're animals. CPS social workers are animals. And they will hurt you. They don't care about parents. They don't care about seniors. They don't care about elders. They hurted me. They hurted me really, really bad. And so...
Mr. Bob, they didn't even come to my house. I have a nice life because I work harder for my children, and he have the best. He have everything. Like I buy him everything. He have.
I know you don't have to defend me. I know you're a good mother. Yeah. I know you're a good mother. You wouldn't be calling if you're not a good mother. You would not be concerned or caring if you're not a good mother. The problem is some of us make mistakes. And I know if you had to do it all over again, you would not have brought your child to the party. Furthermore, you would have that child supervised more carefully so they don't pick up things. 18-month-old children have a habit of putting things in their mouth or in their nose or ears. And sometimes they get lodged. I had a daughter, my firstborn daughter, that put something up her nose, and for a while we didn't know what it was. Well, when it reached in her nose, it was a sponge of some type of foam that she got, and her nose was all infected and everything. So I'm trying to tell you is that 18-month-old children need to be supervised and need to be away from parties that may have drugs around them.
Right.
And I know that if you had to do that all over again, you would have done that.
Right now, the CPS worker, I feel she's a witch. She's a bad person, but she told me next week they will change the social worker, and that new worker is gonna make a plan. Sounds like she's gonna make a plan to have my kiddo back home.
Well, that sounds good if she would do that. Just be on your safe guard. Meanwhile, I'd talk to a family member, have them fly out and file in the court a petition of attorney and guardianship so that they can take care of your child in their home and that ICPC can transport them from Nevada to wherever this parent lives.
All right, how I get the information to get in contact with the person that you recommend me?
Well, I don't know who your relative is, but I don't know what state it is. But what you'll need to do is you need to go on the internet. The internet is a wealth of information. It's my rule number 4 that I've instituted lately. You need to research the CPS in the city or county you're calling from. So if it's Las Vegas, you look at CPS in Las Vegas. How does it work? What are they? What are the bad things? What are the good things? How do you do ICPC? It's on there. All you have to do is write down ICPC and type in ICPC in Las Vegas, Nevada. It will pop up. It's a private organization. Its sole purpose is to guarantee the protection of your children from state to state. So let's say your relatives in Georgia. ICPC will transport the child from Nevada to Georgia, and they keep track of that child. And then that parent who filed the petition for power of attorney and guardianship can get the child. They'll take care of the child until you do your parenting classes or anything else you have to do and settle your case in Las Vegas. Then your child can be returned.
All right. Thank you so much for all the recommendation. I will follow up and I will get in contact with the ACPC.
Yeah, the ICPC. Write that down. ICPC. ICPC.
ICPC.
Yeah. ICPC. It's Indio.
Perfect.
It's Indio Charlie, Paul Charlie, Papa. I'm trying to use the Zulu names. It's Indio Charlie, Papa Charlie, ICPC. And then you want to write down. You want to write down the power of attorney and guardianship that your relative will need to do. They'll file that in the Las Vegas dependency court that your case is in.
All right. I already found it. It says the Independent Savings Plan Company.
Yes, that's it. That's it. So that will help you. Also, I have an attorney, Mr. Davis, who has a law firm that produces his podcast. It's the law offices of Vincent Davis, and it produces podcasts. But he is a dependency attorney. He is a family dependency attorney, and he is a fighter. He has 35 years of experience fighting CPS and getting children back. And he goes anywhere. Right now he works out of Southern California. But he is offering a consultation for 30 minutes for $60. He'll talk to you for 30 minutes and explain to you how to navigate and how to fight your kids. If you want to talk to him further about retaining, you can do so. Because he'll go.
Yes, I will want to talk to him.
Right. The number. Now the number is on my screen. It's 888-888-6582. That's 888-888-6582. 6582. I want to thank Mr. Davis for making this podcast available. He's a likable guy. He does podcasts. He's easy to talk to. And for 30 minutes for $60 is a wonderful deal for one of the top dependency attorneys in the country. He's a fighter. He's done civil lawsuits against CPS in both federal and state courts, and he's won. So he knows his stuff. He was my attorney. He got my 2 boys back. I did lose my daughter because a social worker lied and did revenge. And she was caught on the stand lying, and we caught her, and she said to us, "You'll never see your daughter again." So she told our daughter at 12 years of age, "You divorce your parents, you change your name, you seal your birth certificate, and you get adopted into foster care." She's 21 now. She was told this when she was 12. And at 21, she left her foster care parents because they did something wrong to her. We don't know what it was. But she's still estranged from us. She does talk to her brothers. So she is.
But but I don't understand how I'm going to get in contact with this lawyer because the number you provide to me is so high. I don't know how to write this phone number.
Okay. What language do you speak?
I speak Spanish.
Okay. Ocho. Is that 8?
Yes, 8.
Okay. Write down ocho, ocho, ocho.
Right?
Dash ocho, ocho, ocho.
Right?
And then dash siete is 6, right? Siete?
Yes, 7, 6.
No, 6. Siete. Cinco is 5, right? Cinco is 5?
Right, so it's
Ocho, dos. So it's ocho, 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 dash ocho, 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 dash siete, cinco, ocho, dos.
Oh, perfect. So 7582.
No, 6-5, siete, siete, cinco.
7582.
No, 6. Isn't 6 siete?
Oh, 6.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
6 is 6.
Okay, say.
7 is 7.
Okay, 6, 5, 8, 2.
Perfect. I will get in contact to him so I can, maybe he will charge me. I don't know. I have $4,000 saving for my case.
Yeah.
And
Well, don't tell him what the money you have. Talk to him first and see what can be worked out. Okay. Talk to him first.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you don't want to tell people what money you have when you're trying to get the attorney. Just tell them, that, hey, I need my case. This is my case. What can you do? How much retainer would you take to do my case? So,
All right.
anyway, you have nothing to lose by doing the phone call because you have 30 minutes for $60. And that is what's that? Once, doce, trice,
60 minutes is 70 minutos. Is a lot of time.
Okay. Yeah, 60 minutes is 1 hour. 1 hour. Uno
Yes.
hour. Uno hour. Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. 30 minutes. Trente. 30 minutes.
30, yes.
Yeah, Trente is 30 minutes. And the fee is $6. Sete. Right. Dollars. Okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
will get in contact with that person tomorrow morning for sure. And you're an angel for me right now. Thank you.
Well,
so
thank
much
you for thinking
answering
me
my
as an
call.
angel. But one thing you can do is that you can always call me back. I'm on twice a day. I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning for an hour Pacific Standard Time, and I'm on at 7 o'clock at night for Pacific hour. The only time I deviate that is on Sunday. I'm on at 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning. And
All right.
I know no hablo español, hablo inglés, but uno poquito español. So I try.
I can see you perfect.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you and God bless you and good luck with your case because you will get your kids back. You have to keep working, but keep your guard up. Don't talk too much.
Thank you so much. God
Yeah.
hear you and God bless you as well to
Okay.
you and all your family.
Right. Okay. Well, keep in touch. I'm on twice a day, so I won't disappear on you. All right. I will talk to you later.
Yes,
So let other people.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
in every live you make and YouTube. I just subscribe to your channel, so they're gonna let me know when you're alive, and I'm gonna be there.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, we had an interesting call from a young lady who lives in Las Vegas. English is not her language, and English is my language, but sometimes I wonder, but Spanish is her language, and we're able to communicate. But apparently, she doesn't have a really good man in her life. She had one that was very domestic, violent person. And anyway, her 18-month-old child, she made the poor decision and took him to a party. At the party, she ingested amphetamines and she had to be raced to the hospital and took him 4 days for her child to recover. CPS got involved because the hospital will call. They have the required by law to report any neglect or abuse. The neglect there is a parent to not protect the children from the drugs around. Even though someone may have dropped them or even someone may have brought them in, it's her responsibility to keep track of her children, to supervise her children. These are the little mistakes that CPS will prey on. Now, that can be fixed. The child could be put into next of kin, and then the mother could go through a couple parenting classes, and then the child can be returned. She has to also be careful of the domestic violence. She needs to have that man not around with her child because she needs to protect that child. So, anyway, I want to thank Faye for what you said about the um, court. See, I have to go up there. You said for the power of attorney and guardianship. That was a great idea. She's going to contact and see if that can happen. Faye further said, lies and court appointed will cost you your kids. That is true. Court appointed attorney is a waste of time. She typed in Department of Child Family Services, CPS, CPU programs. I guess that's to help you. So our listeners, copy that down or look at that thing there. She also said another website with a lot of things. I can't open those on my podcast because for some strange reason I can't copy and paste them. So they have to go to my work number, 626-698-0990, or my personal number. Faye knows that. So she also said, here's some links for her. Okay, good. Thank you, Faye. And she says, I know. Okay, great. All right, Faye is from Richmond, Kentucky. She's one of my standing people in here. She's a wonderful mother, and she has a 22-year-old son that she has special needs that she's trying to take care of. But she has a lot of trouble with the police. She lost her daughters. She was brought up in foster care. They came and grabbed her. So, and then we had Diane Guzman on the phone from Las Vegas there. And we also have Tori Johnson. I don't communicate on what's up or what's up. I don't know this is about CPS. Tori, I need to know the city, state, or country you're from. But thank you all for the comments. I appreciate them. Now, another thing, let's say that you want to be on my show as a guest. I have a producer, a show producer. Her name is Grace, and she will gladly help you be put on the show. All you have to do is email her. So this is Grace, but you want to email her, grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. She works really hard what she does. She'll help you get on the link. She'll give you the link to the SteamYard, and she'll give you the link to the show, and you could be talking on the show just like I am, and we can try to help you out with your case. So I'd love to have guests. Faye's been on my shows many times. I had a co-host, Danielle. She'll be back. She's from Georgia, but she has computer issues. And I've had other people as my guest. I have a lot of them. In fact, I have one person from one of the countries. Let me see. That country is Liberia on the west coast of Africa. He's a scout leader. He wants to be a guest on the show. And we have a lot of interest. As I said, with these comments, they're coming in from Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Ghana in South America, Mozambique in East Africa, um, Denmark. Then we had Rwanda from East Africa. We had Rwanda, and then we've also had Sweden. Sweden just came in the other day too. So we had someone from Sweden. So it's great that we have reached out around the world and around the United States. We had a social worker on here that talked about CPS in Maryland. She talked for 40 minutes, and I really appreciate that. I hope that she calls back again, because I challenge any social worker to tell me that I'm wrong when I say about them. And when they wear those pink T-shirts with the stencil on the front of it that proudly says, "We are professional kidnappers," and on the back, "We're your children," that's wrong. That's wrong. And that tells you what people you're dealing with. They'll lie. They're not transparent. And no one is keeping track of the funds that they're spending. They work on bonuses. They work on the fact of trafficking your children into foster care and alienate your children. Trafficking is against the law. Alienation is against the law. No one should alienate the other party, especially spouses that try to get revenge. Alienation is against the law. And CPS will try to alienate your children from you and make up all kinds of stories and stuff. I know this firsthand. I'm a loving father. I have 6 children. I have a wife of 35 years. And I know about CPS. I've been fighting them for almost 15 years. 5 years before they got involved with me, they were doing false allegations through family members. I was on my wife's side. I did not know that until much later. But the family members were calling in and saying ridiculous things. For 5 years, they'd come out, inspect my home, see nothing. And I knew nothing about the law, my rule number 3, that you don't allow them in the home. But what happened is that they tricked me one day and forced me to come home. And in my private neighborhood, there was 9 people standing out in my yard. Why does it take 9 people to investigate? 2 were code enforcements, 5 were firemen, 3 were social workers, and 2 were uniformed policemen and the detective. Why we have to have all these people? The fire were looking for, I guess, violation of the smoke alarms or something. The code enforcement was looking for anything wrong with the structure and so forth. Okay, we got another caller coming in. This is Bob Pace.
Hello?
Hello, who's this I'm talking to?
Hi, Bob.
Yeah, who's this?
This is Akima, KK.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard from you in a while, KK, and I'm so glad. She's from Brooklyn, New York. KK is from Brooklyn, New York. We also have Teresa Manning, and God bless you back again, Teresa. Thank you very much for that. Let me change that to, I guess, the comments there.
Yeah, we're taking a little break. I had to get some things together.
Yeah. I understand that. It's no problem there. Okay, I got KK on the phone from Brooklyn, New York, who had a case. She actually went back to school and got her law degree, and she can practice law because she's determined to get her kids back. So what's the latest, KK? What's the latest with your child?
Well, the graduation, as you know, I was not allowed to participate in. It was on the 20th, but I did get to tell my daughter congratulations through a mutual friend. I did get pictures.
Did they actually physically keep you out? Did they actually physically keep you out?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Don't feel bad. I had the same problem happen with my son's graduation in elementary school. They did the same thing, so I know what you're going through. Go ahead.
And then my 8-year-old is going to be 9 on the 30th, so I wanted to do like cake and ice cream. And coming from the children's attorney, I was told, her statement was, I don't care if I ever see my mom again. I don't want any time with her.
Now, who said that?
My 8-year-old.
To your face?
No, that's what's coming from the hearsay from the children's attorney.
Well, yeah, they're going to say that because they're trying to be mean about it. I'm pretty sure your child did not say that, and they're not going to let you confront your child anyway. So you have to.
No, they took away my visits and my phone calls, Bob. I have no visits, no communication, nothing until the next court date, which is September 17th.
Now, why did they stop the visitation? What did you do that was so awful?
Oh, they said because I was making them destabilized based on the toxic relationship I have with grandma. That's what they call the foster parent. And because I threatened grandma, that I'm not allowed to, I'm making the children feel unsafe.
Wow.
Yep. They said, the children's attorney, and I quote, every visit that Ms. Richardson has with these children results in an explosion of some kind. Some visits were productive, but there have been a boatload of unproductive visits.
And what is your attorney doing about this, KK? What is your attorney doing about it?
Oh, she's like I said, she's on top of things. She's a firecracker. But because she's the fourth attorney and this is the attorney that I haven't retained for the first time, she came in and we were already in fact finding.
So what's the next action you can do?
Well, I can't do anything until September 17th.
Okay.
Because that's the next.
Do you want to have a hearing? Do you want to have a hearing before the 17th?
Oh, we put in a motion in order to show cause.
Right. I want to tell all my listeners and everything that you can turn in a motion. If you want to talk to the judge ahead of any court date, you can put in a motion to show cause to have a hearing. They have to grant it within 30 days when you turn in that petition. So you have to file a petition to show cause. In California, it's called a 388. In New York,
here it's called 366.
Okay, in New York, it's called 366. So for somebody that like numbers, in New York, it's a 366. In California, it's a 388. I know in Maine, it's a 388. So it varies from around the country. But it's a petition to show cause that you have new information, you completed some parenting classes, you have your drug list back, you finished some programs, you have some new information to show cause. And so she will have the hearing. So that is great. I'm glad you did that.
Yes, and this is where the plot thickens. I spoke to the social worker today who informed me that she needed to come to my home and do a safety check. Now, in New York State, if there's no children present, there will not be any children present during any visits, and there are no children in your home under the 18 years of age or younger. You do not have to let a social worker in if there is no court order to do a safety check. Because in New York, state law and case law states, if you are not in arrears in your place of residence, you are feeling intimidated, menaced, harassed, or uncomfortable in any way, you can protect your home by any means, i.e. using excessive force, if you feel backed into a corner, end quote. So I expressed the penal code to this planner and let her know. I think if you do a safety check, I think it should be done outside. It's nice outside, and I want everybody to be safe. Because based on, the lack of credibility you're giving me as far as not being a toxic parent, you're not speaking up on my behalf, I don't think it's safe for you to come into my dwelling according to penal case, according to case law. So I think it'd be safer to do this visit outside. She, in turn, called me back and let me know her supervisor said the visit has to be done at my home. I said, okay, at and in, two different prepositions, and you need to know the difference. So you can come to my home.
Well, I had social workers meet with me in front of my home on the street and the street lights on the back of her trunk of her car, and we went over paperwork, but I did not let her in my home. You're right.
Thank you, Mr. Fisk. And I say that to say this. She kept pushing the issue such as I had to call the Office of Family and Children's Services.
You don't have to talk to social workers.
Oh, no, she said she
and you can say no or yes, no. You can say, if she says, I need to do a safety check of your home, you say no. And if she wants to press it, discuss it further, you just tell her very nicely, I need to talk to my attorney first. We'll get back to you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
And I said to her, according to my attorney, I do not have to honor this interaction.
You don't even have to say that. You don't have to say that. You could just say no.
No, but with my case, Mr. Bob, I just want to say with my case, I always have to express myself in a very humble and cordial way.
I know. You're trying to be respected. You're respecting the agency that doesn't respect you. For all you listeners out there, it is a bad agency.
And the thing with this agency, I've spoken to the supervisor, and I expressed to her, you guys have not given me any family, trauma therapy. You have not given me any, comfortability for reunification. You have suspended all communication, and then say the goal is return to parents. But then you want to have a family team conference, which is tomorrow, Mr. Bob, a family team conference to discuss the change of goals to either kin-gap or adoption. Are you kidding me? But you just said the goal was reunification.
Yeah.
Now, I've been in therapeutic service for the last 13 years.
Right. Well, I would not if I had to do this thing all over again, it'd be yes, no answers. And I would not spar with the social workers. I would not go to the director of DCF. I would have had my attorney do all that. And if it got hot and contested, I'd say, excuse me, ma'am, I have an attorney I need to speak to before I talk to you any further. And you can keep doing that time after time after time. If you want to meet me in my home, we can meet outside on the street. We can meet outside the street at your car.
They do, Mr. Bob, not to cut you off. You know what they do to me? Based on my lack of credibility, based on the brainwashing my children are going through, and based on my past, combative history of assaulting a worker. I am not that person anymore. I have evolved and changed dramatically. And the fact that they keep pushing me and then they're saying the allegation is, mental instability, you are making me unstable because I am using the law. I am a newly appointed lawyer, but I know how to read very well, and I read very avidly. So there's no way you could possibly tell me every time I enforce my rights, all you do is restrict.
Right. Well, Faye, Faye is supporting you. She says, Faye, who's a guest on our show here, says that's all lies. Did the same thing to her that you were doing to you. They stopped my visits 7 months with my son, saying he needed emotional break to clear with his anger of me.
That's what you said.
Yeah, my son, her son says all lies. Emotional break. They come up with the stupidest things I've ever seen. CPS does.
They told me that every time my children have a visit with me, they have to get evaluated therapeutically the next day.
Right. Now, Diane Guzman, who was on the phone earlier tonight from Las Vegas, said, let's fight to get our children back. Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Miss Diane.
Yeah, so people are with you, KK, and I'm sorry, you're going through all this. I really am. It's wrong. It's wrong.
I had stage 4 cancer, and I had a seizure on Father's Day.
Oh.
And the next day, the FTC conference that the Social Security Agency had planned.
Yeah.
And because I was unavailable, they did speak to my home attendant, who's also a friend of mine, and they were trying to get information about me that I did not sign a release for.
Right.
When he stated that to them, this is what they said verbatim. Well, at the end of the day, we don't know who you are, so we can't talk to you about anything in the case. But you were just questioning him about my well. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's been a to them.
Well,
they want to play.
it's like I say, you're Alice in Wonderland, and you fell down that rabbit hole, and you're going through room after room, and they say, off with your head. You know, that silly story of Alice in Wonderland is a duplicate of what CPS system is all about. And
Absolutely.
so, you know, it is sad. It is sad. But whether you're in Brooklyn, New York, or in Orange County, California, or Nevada, Las Vegas, or Richmond, Kentucky, or Hollywood, West Hollywood, California, it's all bad. It's all bad. You know, I've talked to over 500 some people. I've talked to all the states. Now I'm talking over 10 countries now. Today we had Sweden. You know, the country list is growing. It is growing. We've had Rwanda, and we've had, you know, places I never heard of that are calling in. You know, so it's.
I just don't understand, Mr. Pace, when they, you know, when they see that a relationship with a foster parent or a birth parent is not conducive, how do they expect the parent to be honored with parenting time or reunification when they're not giving things a chance? And then the things that the foster parents are doing, they are not authorized to do. There are 10 things in New York City that a foster parent is not allowed to do. And cutting a child's hair is one of them.
Well, they do more than cutting hair. They molest children. I mean, all you have to do is talk to Faye how many times that she was molested while with a foster parent. She was in there in a foster care system at a young age, as a young child, as a middle child, she's been in and out 5 times growing up, and it's terrible.
I just don't understand how they're allowed to, you know, like.
Well, it's called money. KK, it's all about the dollar. It's all about the dollar. They have eyeballs that say dollars, dollars, dollars.
They're taking my kids out of state. I don't have any visits or phone calls, no communication until September 17th.
They're trying to alienate you. They're trying to alienate the child from you. That's against the law.
Well, they said this FTC tomorrow is a goal change for either kin gap or an adoption. So how are you doing this when the next court date is still fact-finding?
Right.
You can't do that. You cannot put a motion in New York City prior to fact-finding being completed.
Well, you can have that hearing to show cause, and you can do that.
You can't do it not when fact-finding is on the opposing side. No, you can't. Not in New York City.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, because we are still in fact-finding and the opposing side, which is CPS, is still testifying with their last witness, you have to give a 10-day notice prior to even putting this affidavit in.
Okay.
So when do they plan on doing this when there is no communication? So how am I in danger?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And then the case planner today sent me a referral, and I'm thinking it's for family therapy, something I've been begging for the last 499 days.
Now, Faye says because they're only acting like they're going to reunify, but that's not really their goal. They cut my son's beautiful hair off, too. They did surgery on my kids without my knowledge. I am so sorry. Most kids are, sadly, they cut their hair.
Yes, that is traumatizing to a child sometimes.
The younger kids, they put ear tubes in them when they don't need ear tubes.
They told me my children needed braces and that they didn't need glasses. Now, yet, they see an orthodontist. There's no issues with their teeth, but they've been wearing glasses for 3 years.
Yeah.
But you tell me they don't need glasses.
And Teresa Manning, I don't know where she's from, but she says her grandson, so she must be a grandparent, was abused in foster care. I know that for a fact.
My children were abused too by the first placement, and my daughter said this at the very first visit, and they told them they had to investigate and place them back there.
Yep.
This man, come to find out, was on the registry and brandished a firearm, which he was arrested for 9 days after my children's transfer placement. Okay,
I've reached 8 o'clock. I'm going to have to cut my show off. I did start a little bit late tonight, but I'm going to end the show. KK, I'm so glad you called in. Faye, thank you for being there. Yeah, Teresa Manning, thank you. Diane Guzman for calling. Danielle will be back. She just has a computer issue. And thank you, Diane Guzman from Las Vegas. She got some help
Thank you
there.
again.
And then Teresa Manning, I think I've covered everybody. Diane Guzman.
All
Oh,
the
and
families that are fighting, keep
Tori
fighting, guys.
Johnson.
They're working.
And, you know, God bless you all. Keep fighting for kids. I'll see you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is Bob
Good night,
Pace
guys. Bye, guys.
signing off. Bye.